The river captain was a man of the water, known far and wide for his remarkable skills and unyielding bravery. His name was Jack, and he had spent most of his life navigating the winding currents of the river. Growing up near its banks, he learned to read its moods like a book. Jack knew every twist and turn, every rock and sandbar. The river was not just a job for him. It was his home and his passion. His days were filled with the sounds of splashing waters, the calls of birds overhead, and the gentle rustle of leaves. With strong arms and sharp instincts, he mastered the art of steering boats through even the roughest waters. Jack had a knack for helping others too. Fishermen would often seek him out for guidance, while families relied on him to ferry them safely across. What set Jack apart was his bond with the river itself. He believed that each wave told a story, and he listened carefully to its whispers. Many said that Jack had a special connection to the river spirits, who watched over him as he worked. His deep respect for nature kept him vigilant and wise. As word spread about his talents, many praised Jack not only for his skill but also for his unwavering courage. He was known as a protector of those who ventured onto the water. Little did he know that soon, his courage would be tested in ways he had never imagined when a sudden storm would put everything at risk. On the banks of the river lived a wealthy banker named Mr. Thompson, a man known for his sharp mind and keen business sense. With a sprawling estate and a reputation for success, he was one of the most respected figures in town. Yet, despite his wealth, there was a softness in his heart, especially when it came to his only son, young Oliver. Oliver was a curious boy with bright eyes that sparkled with excitement. He loved the river as much as Jack did, always dreaming of adventures on its waters. Unlike his father, who focused on riches and power, Oliver found joy in nature's wonders. He spent countless hours exploring the riverbank, collecting shiny stones and watching the fish dart beneath the surface. Mr. Thompson often worried about his son's daring spirit. While Oliver's adventurous nature brought him joy, it also made the banker anxious. He would caution his son about the dangers of the river, reminding him that it could change in an instant. Yet, Oliver listened to tales of brave sailors and mighty storms with wide eyes, imagining himself as the hero of his very own story. Despite their differences, a strong bond united father and son. On many occasions, they would walk along the river together, sharing laughs and dreams. But little did they know that soon their lives would intertwine with the river captain's in a way that would test their courage and reshape their understanding of both bravery and family. It was a bright, sunny afternoon when Mr. Thompson decided to take Oliver out for a boat ride on the river. The sky was painted in brilliant blue, dotted with fluffy white clouds that floated lazily by. The gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers along the riverbanks, and the sound of water lapping against the wooden boat filled the air, creating a perfect backdrop for their adventure. As they glided through the sparkling waters, Oliver's laughter echoed with delight. He pointed out playful fish leaping from the surface and watched as birds soared overhead, their wings gliding effortlessly in the warm sunlight. For a moment, all of Mr. Thompson's worries faded away. He felt a sense of freedom as he shared this time with his son, rowing steadily while Oliver leaned over the edge, mesmerized by the shimmering reflections below. "Look at that one, father," Oliver exclaimed, his eyes wide as he spotted a silver fish racing alongside them. Mr. Thompson smiled, realizing how much joy this simple outing brought to his son's heart. Yet beneath this serene scene, an unexpected change began to stir in the distance. Dark clouds gathered at the horizon, casting shadows over the cheerful day. The current started to shift slightly as if sensing an approaching storm. Oblivious to these signs, father and son continued their blissful ride along the river, unaware of the challenges that awaited them just ahead. Just as Mr. Thompson and Oliver were beginning to truly enjoy their afternoon, the dark clouds that had loomed on the horizon merged into a thick, menacing blanket overhead. The wind picked up sharply, howling through the trees along the riverbank, and the once sparkling water began to churn ominously. A shiver of unease traveled through Mr. Thompson as he felt the change in the air. Before he could fully react, a loud clap of thunder rumbled in the distance, echoing like a warning through the valley. Rain began to pour down in torrents, drenching everything in an instant. The calm river transformed into a chaotic scene filled with swells and waves crashing wildly into one another. Caught up in his fun, Oliver didn't notice the danger until it was too late. He had been leaning over the edge of the boat, peering intently at shimmering fish just below the surface. Suddenly, the current shifted violently beneath him, pulling away from shore and creating a horrifying whirlpool that threatened to swallow him whole. "Oliver!" Mr. Thompson shouted, panic rising in his voice as he tried to grab his son's arm. But fear gripped Oliver as he lost his balance and tumbled toward the swirling waters. The world around him spun wildly. There was no safe ground beneath him anymore. As chaos erupted, Jack, the river captain, spotted trouble brewing ahead on the river's edge and raced to intervene before it was too late. As the storm raged on, Jack, the river captain, was nearby, guiding another boat through the increasingly turbulent waters. The moment he heard Mr. Thompson's desperate calls echoing across the river, a chill ran down his spine. He quickly turned his gaze toward the source of the commotion and saw Oliver struggling against the fierce whirlpool that had formed just off the side of the boat. Without hesitation, Jack sprang into action. He knew every second counted. Dashing to his own vessel, he shouted instructions to his crew to secure their boat and prepare for a rescue. With swift determination, he propelled himself into the water, keenly aware of the dangers swirling around him. The churning current tried to pull him under, but Jack was no stranger to such fierce tides. Arming himself with a sturdy rope, he swam fiercely toward the whirlpool. It twisted and roared like a wild beast, eager to claim anything that came too close. With each stroke, Jack felt the water's power intensifying, but he pushed through, fueled by an unwavering will to save the boy. Reaching Oliver just in time, Jack extended his arm and shouted above the crashing waves, "Grab my hand!" The boy's eyes widened in fear as he struggled to keep his head above water. With one strong pull, Jack grasped Oliver's wrist and secured him tightly. Together, they fought against the whirlpool's pull, determined to escape its clutches and find safety in the stormy chaos that surrounded them. Once Jack and Oliver emerged from the chaotic waters, gasping for breath and drenched, a wave of relief washed over them. "What have you done?" one guard demanded, stepping forward with an accusatory glare directed at Jack. "You risked our master's son in that whirlpool. This is all your fault." Jack, exhausted yet steady, tried to explain. "I did what I had to do to save him. The storm came out of nowhere." But the guards were unconvinced. They surrounded him, their eyes narrowed. "Your recklessness endangered the life of young Oliver," another guard chimed in. "You owe our master compensation for your actions." "What compensation?" Jack replied incredulously, still catching his breath. "This wasn't a choice. It was an emergency." The lead guard stepped closer, his voice low and menacing. "We demand payment in fresh lead shot for the trouble you've caused us." Jack clenched his jaw, feeling anger surge within him at their threats amid such a crisis. He knew he had acted heroically to save Oliver, but felt trapped by their unreasonable demands. It was wrong to accuse him after risking everything to pull the boy from danger. The tension hung heavily in the air as Jack faced the escalating confrontation with the guards who insisted on recompense rather than gratitude. The demand for fresh lead shot became a bitter point of contention between Jack and the guards. Fresh lead shot was a form of ammunition made from small pellets of lead, often used in shotguns for hunting. It was not only valuable but also costly to acquire. The guard's insistence on this payment felt particularly unjust to Jack, who had just risked his life to save the banker's son. As one of the guards explained their reasoning, he sneered at Jack. "You see, Captain, our master values his possessions greatly, much like the life you so recklessly endangered today. If you cannot provide compensation for your actions, then you will face the consequences." Jack struggled to keep his anger in check as he considered how absurd their demands were. He had never expected to be punished for attempting to save Oliver. "I'm not here to barter. I put my own life on the line to save that boy," he protested. The guards didn't seem swayed by his words. They were focused on enforcing their employer's demands rather than recognizing Jack's bravery. They believed that it was a matter of principle. If someone caused harm or danger, they had to pay for it, no matter how heroic their actions had been. In that moment, as tensions escalated, Jack realized that the situation might spiral out of control unless he found a way to communicate the truth of what had happened. Not just for his sake, but also for Oliver's safety and well-being in the future. Determined to stand his ground, Jack took a deep breath and faced the guards with an unwavering resolve. "Listen," he said firmly, trying to calm the heated atmosphere. "I understand that you are loyal to your master and concerned about his son, but I need you to see the situation for what it truly is. I didn't act recklessly. I acted out of desperation to save a life." One guard scoffed, crossing his arms. "And what do you expect us to believe? That your heroics justify endangering our master's son?" Jack met the guard's gaze, holding steady despite the tension. "Yes, I put myself at risk, but it was for Oliver's safety. In times of danger, we must choose courage over fear. Isn't that what bravery is about?" He glanced around at the other guards, hoping to appeal to their sense of fairness. "Instead of demanding payment for my actions, consider the life saved here today. Wouldn't it be more just for you to acknowledge that I acted selflessly in an emergency rather than punish me?" The lead guard hesitated, uncertainty flickering in his eyes as he listened. Jack continued passionately, "If we cannot show understanding and support in moments like this, then what kind of community are we building? Let's focus on gratitude instead of punishment." Slowly, some guards nodded slightly. They were beginning to reflect on Jack's words. The tension eased just a bit as Jack's courageous plea encouraged them to reconsider their stance on this unexpected confrontation. Just as tensions seemed to reach their peak, Mr. Thompson emerged from the trees along the riverbank, his face etched with concern. He had been searching for Oliver, only to find him safe in the grip of the river captain. Relief washed over him, but it quickly mixed with confusion as he noticed the standoff unfolding before him. "What is happening here?" Mr. Thompson demanded, stepping closer. The guards hesitated, caught off guard by their master's sudden presence. Jack glanced over, trying to gauge Mr. Thompson's reaction. "It's all right, sir. I saved your son," Jack explained, his voice steady despite the circumstances. "But these men are demanding payment for my actions as if I should be punished for rescuing him." Mr. Thompson frowned, taking a moment to absorb the situation. Instead of siding with his guards, he looked at Jack with newfound respect. "You risked your life for my boy," he said firmly. "I will not allow anyone to treat you poorly for that act of bravery. You deserve gratitude, not punishment." The guards exchanged uneasy glances, surprised at their master's words. Mr. Thompson continued, "I will pay you whatever you believe is fair for your service today." Jack felt a wave of relief wash over him as he heard Mr. Thompson's decision. The banker's choice to support him instead of siding with the guards shifted the atmosphere significantly. The initial tension began to dissolve as even some guards started to realize that true honor lay in acknowledging a hero's courage rather than imposing demands for recompense. With the tension finally diffused, Mr. Thompson extended his hand to Jack, a gesture of partnership and respect. "You've proven yourself not just as a captain but as a true hero today," he said warmly. "I would like to offer you my friendship and support." Jack shook Mr. Thompson's hand, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. The gratitude in the banker's eyes was genuine, and it marked the beginning of a new bond between them. Oliver, still buzzing from the excitement of his rescue, chimed in eagerly, "Can we go on more adventures together? You can show us all the best spots on the river." Mr. Thompson laughed, his earlier worries fading away. "That sounds like a fine idea, Oliver. I think it's time we explore more of this beautiful river with our brave captain leading the way." As the sun broke through the remaining clouds, casting a warm glow over the water, Jack felt a sense of hope for the future. He could envision more joyful days ahead, shared adventures filled with laughter and exploration alongside Mr. Thompson and Oliver. From that day forward, their lives became intertwined. Jack frequently guided the Thompsons on their river excursions, teaching them about nature and the secrets of the flowing waters. In return, Mr. Thompson offered financial support for Jack's endeavors, ensuring that the river captain could continue helping others in need. Together, they forged a friendship that promised many thrilling journeys ahead, a friendship built on bravery, gratitude, and mutual respect that would last a lifetime.